You don't need a fancy sewing machine in order to be able to sew. In this video, I'll be showing you how to sew without a sewing machine. In this video, you'll learn the basic hand sewing stitches, the running stitch, the back stitch, the whip stitch, and how to sew a hem. For this project, you will need hand sewing needles, a pair of scissors, some thread, and some fabric to practice on. For this project, you're going to pull off some thread. About 18 inches or so should do. You'll take the cut thread and put it through the eye of the needle. Then you'll want to pull it through so it's a little bit uneven, with one side being longer than the other. To make a knot in the end of the thread, first wrap the thread around your finger. Roll the thread between your fingers until it comes toward the end of your index finger. When you're all done, you should have a little knot on the end of the thread like that. The first of our basic hand sewing stitches is the running stitch. To begin your running stitch, you're going to weave your needle in and out of the fabric so that it's on the end of the needle like that. Once you have a little bit of fabric on your needle, you're going to pull it through and do it again. To secure the end of your row, you're going to make a little back stitch like you see in the picture and pull your needle through. You may want to make one or two. And this is how two pieces of fabric joined together with a running stitch will look on the front side. Pretty neat, huh? The next stitch that we're going to learn how to make is the back stitch. The back stitch is very useful in hand sewing as it makes very sturdy seams. To start your back stitch, you're going to stick your needle into your cloth and pull it through. Then you're going to take your needle and go to where your last stitch ended and start your new stitch. Here is a row of back stitches that are very close together, with the beginning starting where the last stitch ends. And this is what back stitches look like on the back side of the cloth. You can see that I changed from back stitches that are close together to back stitches that are spaced a little bit further apart. And that's what they look like on the back side of your work. And this is how two pieces of cloth sewn together using back stitch looks. The last of our three basic sewing stitches that we're going to learn to make is the whip stitch. The whip stitch can be used to join fabric together, and it also can be used to finish seams to keep them from unraveling. Your whip stitch comes from the back up to the front and then goes around to the back again. As you can see in this picture, you're kind of going around in a circle, always bringing your needle up from behind, bringing it around and pushing it up from behind again to the front. This is what it would look like if you were to use back stitches for a seam and a whip stitch to finish off that seam so that it wouldn't ravel or fray. To create a hem, you're usually going to turn your fabric once or sometimes twice. As you can see, I'm poking my needle through the front and the top edge of the turned hem at the back of the fabric and moving over a little bit to the left. Your goal is to have evenly spaced, tiny stitches that don't show on the front. And this is how those same stitches look from the front. Now I sewed this in black, but if you used a matching color, you would barely see the stitching on the front. So there you have it, your basic hand sewing stitches. Your running stitch, your whip stitch, your back stitch, and your basic hem. And with those 4 basic stitches, you can make a wide variety of projects. So now that you know how to make those basic sewing stitches, let's put them into practice with some fun and easy to make hand-sewn projects. The first project that we will be making is a lined zipper bag. After that, we'll be working on a business card case, or you could consider it an encouragement kit. And with things going the way they are these days, everyone needs a little bit of encouragement. Well, that's it for this video. If you have questions or comments, please share them below. You can follow me on Twitter at ConsciouslyMod, and please consider subscribing to this channel.